Hey, what's going on, everybody? I want to talk a little bit more about SHTF comms. I did a video yesterday about two options for SHTF radios, and someone commented, which I really appreciate the comment. They so what I said for the radios that I like are these Woshin mates, and I brought in the TID radio H8, and these two I was talking about, and then I recommended this one for an SHTF because it has the ability to program in GMRS and ham radio, and I like this one because you can do the same thing. It's a little bit more advanced to do that. You need some different software and whatnot. And I'll try not to make this video too long, but there's lots to talk about. It's kind of a extremely subjective topic. So these are just some thoughts in my opinion. So don't get too wrapped up in the radios or whatever or what I say. Do what works best for you. And when I mean SHTF, any radio can be an SHTF radio. I don't care what it is, what type of radio. It can be a little Baofeng UV5R. It can be a CB radio. It can be GMRS radio. One of these radios here I'm talking about. An SHTF radio is a radio that you use to save your life, whether you are licensed or not on that frequency, that service, or whether you're ham or GMRS or whatever. Heck, if I had to, I would grab I'd get on the police radio if there was a real SHTF moment and to save someone's life. That's just the way it is, and I'm sure you guys would too. But that's what I'm talking about. I want to have a good, reliable SHTF radio with me all the time. And what I think is a good SHTF radio isn't necessarily what a good survival radio or something along those lines would be, where you would bring in the waterproofing and all that kind of stuff like this Alinco. This is what I would say could qualify for a survival radio. It's just one of the options because it is, you can modify it. You can add in GMRS. It's ham radio, VHF, UHF. It's got airband receive. It's got weather, NOAA weather receive. It's got excellent durability. You can see it's waterproof. But this would be in the category what I would consider a survival radio. The Yaesu VX6 is one of those radios. And there's probably quite a few other types of radios that would meet the requirements of a much more robust type of radio that you can count on when you're in the backcountry or hiking or whatever. Something that you can really count on reliability wise and all that stuff. And there's probably several different kinds that would meet that. And I'll have to do another video on those. I don't have a whole lot of those radios. They tend to be extremely expensive. I don't have a VX6 yet, so it's on my list. Anyhow, let me turn these things off. But an SHTF radio is a radio that to me, what would qualify as a good SHTF is something like the TID radio, where you can program in VHF, UHF, ham frequencies, as well as GMRS if you need it, or vice versa, whatever you use that radio for primarily. that has a weather station or weather receive on it. AM would be nice, not that big a deal to me, but something reliable, something that you can count on, and that you're familiar with. And here's what I think too is a big part of that scenario is, can I give a radio to someone else? Like the H8 or the H3 or the Baofeng UV5R here. And there's so many radios, you guys. I mean, it really, honestly, it doesn't matter a whole lot. And that's what I'm talking about. There's a big difference between what I'm saying as a SHTF radio. And I can understand where we can get caught up in the weeds here in the conversation, but it's just a radio that's going to save your life when you need it. So more importantly, and this is something that I think is more important than the radio, is learning how to use it, getting familiar with the service that you're going to be using, whether it's GMRS, MERS. I don't hear anybody on MERS in my area. I hear a little bit of GMRS activity. It's increasing. There's a lot of ham radio activity. And when I need to get a hold of someone, I want to be able to reach a person on the other end. And either you do that by getting familiar with frequencies in your area that you know people are on. Ham radio groups, there's a lot of people that monitor certain repeaters. Or give your family and friends, get them involved and get them all set up with GMRS or whatever. You can have them be monitoring or whatever. You just need to get a hold of somebody. And when you're reducing the amount of people that you can get a hold of in a bad situation, then that's not a SHTF. That's not a good option for that. If I'm out hiking and I can't hit any repeaters, GMRS repeaters, that's not a good option. But I want to have that option in case something happens within that. So it's just adding extra capabilities to your radio, to your arsenal, I guess. GMRS and ham radio are just different types of tools. And comparing the two is silly. They're just different. They're different types of tools. Think of them as a tool in your toolbox that you can use when you need it. And a lot of family members and stuff like that are not going to be ham radio operators. So get them. A GMRS would be better for that, to get more of your family members involved. But if you're in a certain situation, you can't reach GMRS repeaters, or you're out of range from each other, or your base, or whatever the scenario may be, then that's not that great of an option. It's not going to help you a whole lot. So then you want to have something else. There are two GMRS repeaters I can hit in my area. And one of them I can hit really good. The other one's a little staticky when I get into that repeater. But I can hit all kinds of ham radio repeaters. And if you guys look on, there's a couple different ways to find out what is, clearly ham radio is more vast and comprehensive than GMRS. GMRS, really, to me, the only option, the only good reason to have a GMRS is to get your family involved without having to be licensed. It's really easy. It's not hard. And they're more apt to do it with that. But go to mygmrs.com. You can search through the map function, find what's in your area, and then go to repeater book and search the map function. Find out what VHF, UHF, there's a huge list of different types of repeaters on repeater book that are in your area, and you would be just blown away. There are hundreds of ham radio repeaters in your state, depending on what state you're in. I live in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, Idaho. Even Montana has quite a bit, but Washington, Oregon, and Idaho are crazy. Like, I want to say there's like 600 repeaters in Oregon. Maybe that's just VHF. I forget, but it's crazy. And then there's just a few GMRS repeaters, which is fine. It's nothing, it's not a problem. Just know what you need. Know where you're at. Know what's going to work best for you. I think that's more important than the radio that you choose. It's okay to start out with the UV5R and program in your ham radio frequencies and GMRS, MERS, and all that stuff. If you're going to use it, don't use these radios inappropriately. This is a SHTF scenario. That's when you're going to use those things. If I get this Alinco, I'm going to use this on ham frequencies. But if I need to, I can't reach anybody else, or I need to scan, say I'm scanning for someone that I know has GMRS, say I know that they're injured or whatever, or they're stuck in the mountains or whatever, and that's all they have is a GMRS radio. I can scan those GMRS frequencies, and then I would be able to get back with them once I heard them. That's what that is for. It's a SHTF thing. It's not, it's not like search and rescue and all that stuff. This is for you to save your life or someone else's life. That's the whole idea. Otherwise, use the radios appropriately. And I fully recommend getting ham licensed. It's not that hard. You just got to work at it a little bit. And I fully recommend getting GMRS licensed. So learn both of them, and then maybe even try a MERS radio. Sometimes those work really well. They work more similar to within the 2 meter range, frequency range. So that's about all I'm going to say for now, you guys. It's just some food for thought. SHTF radios are something that's going to save your life. It's not necessarily a survival radio where the apocalypse or some damn thing is going to happen and you need this thing to go through hell with you. No, this is just normal, regular use generally. And get a radio that you like, that you want to use, that works well. And that's why I like this one. It's a good radio. It's simple. Anybody can use it. I can afford to pass these out. I can afford to pass UV5Rs out. I can afford to pass an H3 out. Then if you get into the Woshin Mate, it's 140, something like that. If you start getting into the Q10H 220, I mean, it's fine to have these radios. It's just whatever you like and whatever you use. But I think more importantly, like I said, get to know what's out there, get a network set up, try and learn where you're going, what you might need, have some options for charging your batteries and things like that. I really like the radios. Another reason I like this one is because you can carry a little pack, battery pack, and charge this thing in your backpack if you get low. These things come with an extra battery depending on what kit you buy. I have the Mellow Wave Bandit G on here, but you can easily carry this little stubby on there, or just the stock antenna works perfectly fine. You don't have to spend any extra money on it. So yeah, that's what I think. And maybe you don't want to call it SHTF, but that's to me technically what it is. When something goes down, you need help, you got to be able to get on the radio if you're out of cell service or something like that and find help wherever it is, on whatever band, frequency range, whatever, GMRS, ham radio, whatever. and do what you got to do. But as far as preparedness and all that other stuff, yeah, it's a vast subject, you guys. You can go down many different avenues, but I really like the idea of being able to get other people involved. The more people that have these things, the better. And you know, if you know how to use them, that's really what counts. So that's about all I got to say. I just rambled there for 15 minutes. Thanks to you guys for watching. And let me know your thoughts. And what do you guys think? And maybe down below, tell me what you guys actually think of a good survival radio type of thing. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys a lot. Take care.